Maddie and I'm your robotics educator, and today we're going to be going through how to do Around the World in 80 Days. Before we get started, there's a couple of items you're going to need from home, like some markers, some Crayolas or colored pencils, a pencil for drawing, some tape, a pair of scissors, and a penny. The supplies that are in your clovercrate are a little instruction guide, and we'll also have a picture instruction guide included. We're going to have a paper lantern. We're going to have a metal piece that's going to be part of our paper lantern. We also have a little baggie that has a lot of small supplies like a cupcake tin, some strings, straw, and beads. And then we also are going to have a thick piece of white cardstock and a couple of pieces of really colorful paper so we can decorate our hot air balloon later. For our first step, we are going to be combining our paper lantern with the little metal piece that goes inside of it. How we want to approach this is that there are two holes on the paper lantern on both sides. One is bigger than the other and has little metal loops. This is the one that we want to be face up on our table. And we're going to be using this piece to go through. And we want to make sure that this side, the side without the metal circle, is the part that we are putting downward. So we're going to take this metal piece and we're going to squeeze it when we put it through so that it can fit. We're going to put these little metal notches so they measure up right with the outer parts of the smaller circle. I grab this little metal piece so I can pull up easier, and what we're going to do is just pull until it's all the way to the top, and then we're going to have to bend this piece of metal. It bends really easily. We're going to push it down, and so it goes through one loop. So right now it's through one of the holes, and then we're going to bend it down another time, so then it's through the other hole. It can pop out sometimes, so we'll just have to kind of finagle with it until we get it right into the position so it fits. And now we just want to go to the other side and check it and make sure that it is sitting properly, and the way it should be sitting is having a little bit of a ridge sticking out and then the rest of it inside. And there we have inflated our paper lantern. Now that we've puffed up our paper lantern, we're going to get to decorate it. This is when we get to use our markers and that colorful paper that we have earlier, so we can cut it out and draw on this paper lantern and make it whatever we want it to be. Around the World in 80 Days starts at a reform club with Phileas Fogg, Thomas Flanagan, Samuel Valentine, and John Sullivan sitting near a fireplace reading newspapers. Passepartout comes in, and Fogg begins to interview him to be his servant. Passepartout is hired, and he is asked to start work right away. Fogg, Flanagan, Valentine, and Sullivan are then talking about a bank robbery when they are at the Reform Club. They make a bet with one another. Fogg is sure he can travel around the world in 80 days, but Sullivan doesn't believe this could actually be done. Sullivan, Flanagan, and Valentine think that Fogg is not thinking clearly. The men agree on a bet for 20,000 pounds that Fogg can't do this. Fogg says that he can and plans to get on the train and begin his journey around the world at 8:45 p.m. that night. Passepartout does not know about the bet. He is polishing shoes and wonders where Fogg got all of his money. Fogg then surprises Passepartout and tells him to get ready for a trip around the world. Fogg tells Passepartout to only pack a few things and that they will buy everything else on the trip. Fogg then gives Passepartout a bag filled with 20,000 pounds. Fogg and Passepartout go to the Charing Cross station to get on the train. Passepartout needs to get a compartment. Fogg talks about being generous, and then he gives a beggar 20 guineas. Everyone in London knows about Fogg's adventures. The people all talk about the trip, and the newspapers print stories about an Englishman trying to travel around the world in 80 days. The first place to stop on the 80-day trip is the Suez Harbor. Detective Fix and Consuel wait for the ship called Magnolia to arrive. Fix is looking for a bank robber who stole 20,000 pounds from the Bank of England. The ship comes in, and Passepartout gets off of it and talks to Fix. Fix starts to ask Passepartout about Fogg. Passepartout tells Fix that Fogg is very rich and that they are going around the world in 80 days because of a bet. Fix thinks that Fogg is the bank robber, and he sends a telegram message to the police commissioner. While this is happening, Fix tries to tell Consuel not to stamp the passport because he thinks that Fogg is a robber. Fogg then rents an elephant, and he gets his passport stamped. Fogg and Passepartout are then on their way to Bombay. The elephant decides to stop in the middle of the jungle, but Fogg and Passepartout still get to Bombay 2 days ahead of schedule. Passepartout wants to stay where they are for a while, but Fogg says that they need to keep going. When they are on the train to Calcutta, a conductor tells Fogg that the tracks have come to an end. Fogg then keeps going on foot to the Allahabad station. Fogg meets the elephant owner again and tries to buy the elephant. Fogg has 12 extra hours on his 80-day journey around the world, and he decides to rescue a woman who is a widow, Miss Aouda. They all hop on the elephant and they ride to Allahabad station. They get on the train to Calcutta. Fix is waiting for them at the Calcutta train station. He calls a policeman to ask him to arrest Fogg. Passepartout is found guilty of destroying the pagoda of Malabar Hill in a trial and is sent to jail for 15 days. The judge thinks Fogg should also be sentenced to jail for being Passepartout's master. Fogg pays the money for bail and they leave. The ship to Hong Kong is expected to arrive 20 hours late because there is a big storm. Miss Aouda asks a lot of questions of Passepartout about Fogg when they are traveling on the ship. They finally get to Hong Kong, but they are 24 hours late. Fix is there waiting for them. Passepartout is then carried on to the SS General Grant by 2 police officers. Fogg is never told about the big steamship, and it leaves without him. They meet John Bunsby, and he agrees to take Fogg and Miss Aouda to San Francisco for a lot of money. While this is happening, Passepartout wakes up and realizes he is on the SS General Grant. He looks for Fogg and Miss Aouda, but they are not there. Suddenly, the SS Grant stops and picks up Fogg, Miss Aouda, and Fix. Passepartout is angry at Fix for making Fogg miss the boat to San Francisco. Fix tells Passepartout that he is a detective and that he thinks that Fogg is a criminal. Passepartout tells Fix that he won't tell Fogg that he is a detective. They all get on the train for New York and is attacked by Indians. Fogg, Miss Aouda, Fix, and Passepartout finally get to New York in the handcar. Fogg sees a ship and is ready to leave. He goes over to the captain and asks him to take them all to Liverpool. The captain, Andrew Speedy, says that his ship is going to Bordeaux, and Fogg says that he will pay for him to take them. Fogg then pays the ship's crew with a lot of money, £300, to take them to Liverpool. The captain still refuses to do that, so the crew locks him in his cabin when they arrive in Liverpool. Fix arrests Fogg. This causes Fogg to miss his train to London, but alas, a hot air balloon takes Fogg, Passepartout, and Miss Aouda to London, even 24 hours ahead of schedule. Fogg then wins his bet, and he then marries the widow, Miss Aouda, and they live happily ever after. Now that we've decorated our balloon, we are going to be attaching some strings to the bottom, so what we're going to need is our little bag with our items inside. I'm going to set this right now to the side. He might float away. Whoop! And so we're going to open our bag, and we're going to put this cupcake tin, we're going to put that right over to the side because we're going to do that part next. And we're going to pull out our string. We're going to leave the straws and beads in the bag and set that aside because we're going to use those stuff later. Now we have a lot of string here, and we're going to look for our really, really short string, like this. This string versus this long one. We want to make sure we grab our short string. There's 2 of these in the bag, so we want to grab those 2. The long strings can be returned back into your plastic baggie. Awesome. Now that we have our 2 little strings, what we're going to be doing is attaching them right to these little knobs down here. Okay, so we are going to take one end of our short string and we're going to put it through that little metal loop. So what I'm going to do is just stick that through right now. And I kind of feed it through a little bit farther than normal, what it needs to be, until I can grab it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just wrap them around each other and pull it tight. And we have attached our first string. We're now going to do the exact same thing on the other side with the other loop. We're just going to pull that through and then wrap them around each other and pull through. And now we're going to be grabbing our cupcake tin, so please grab your little tin, and you'll notice that there are 2 holes that are pushed in through one of the walls of the cupcake tin. We're going to take one of our strings, and we're going to feed it through the little hole that's made in our cupcake tin, And we're going to tie it on the same way that we tied on our other piece. So we're just going to take these two and wrap them around each other and pull tight. That looks awesome. And then we're going to do that on the other side as well. So we're just going to put it through the hole. I'm going to put it through the inside because it looks like it would be easier. And we're going to pull that through, and we're going to wrap it around and tie it just like the other side. So once we've wrapped that around and tied, we have now attached our basket to our hot air balloon. Now that we've created our hot air balloon, we're going to set this aside. We're now going to work on our passenger for our hot air balloon. So we're going to need that piece of white cardstock, and we're also going to need a pencil. This is time where we can get creative and draw whatever we want for our passenger. Now that we've finished drawing out our item, we're going to color that in and then cut it out. So now that we have made our little passenger for our hot air balloon, the next thing we're going to do is construct him so he can climb the string onto the hot air balloon. So I'm going to set him down so then his back, or the uncolored side, is facing downward. For the rest of the supplies we'll need, we're going to need our 2 straws and beads, we're going to need our really long string, our penny, and our tape. So we've just turned over our robot, and we're going to be taping the penny to the middle section of this. This is going to help weigh it down so that it can climb up correctly. Now we're going to take our 2 straws and we want to put them on both sides of the penny, making sure that they're parallel to each other. And we're going to tape those down too. You can either do a tape where you tape over and tape onto the piece of paper, or you can do where you make a little circle with the tape by taking the tape, folding it in so it touches each other, and taping the one down. I'm going to do both on different sides so you can see that both work. Now for the next step. We're going to take our really long string that we've kept in our bags, and we're going to feed it through these little straws. We want to make sure that they go all the way up, but we just want to feed them through the tubing. Awesome. And once it's up to the top or the head of your creature, just pull them right along. It can rest in the middle. You don't have to pull it fully one way or another, but just have it so then it's through the string. And then we're just going to do that with the other side, the other length. Easier. Awesome. And now that they both have their pieces through, we're going to take the very end of the string that's towards the bottom. So this is this string all the way at the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to tape the bead to the end of the string so then our robot cannot fall off the string. So I'm just going to take tape, and there's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm going to start where I just put some tape on this, and then I'm just going to put the bead at the bottom, and I'm just going to wrap my tape around it. I might do a second piece just for some good measure, but just anything to make sure that the bead is on there. You can also, if you want, you can tie the string around the bead. I'm going to do that on the other side so you can see both options. Awesome, so this looks nice and secure. Now on the other side, again, at the very bottom of the tail, or the bottom part of your robot, we're going to take this string. I'm going to put this one through the bead and tie it to show you the two different options. The way I like best is through the tying method around the bead, but it's completely up to you of which one you want to do. Again, just loop and tie. And there you have it, the beads are connected. Now all that's left is for us to take our little robot guy and attach him to the hot air balloon. Now that we've made our passenger and our hot air balloon, it's time to attach them. So we're going to take those super long strings, we're going to find the ends of them that aren't attached to the beads. And then we're going to take our hot air balloon and flip it so it's down to that side with the weird little circle piece that's attached. And we're going to tie the long strings here onto this big circle. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do it so it's facing you guys. And you can hook it to any part of the circle. I'm doing it to the lower part because I just thought that that would be easier. You can do a single knot or you can do a double knot by doing the same knot twice. It is up to you. Okay, so I've attached one side and now I'm going to attach the other side. So I'm just going to put it around the same area. And we're going to tie this. And we're going to, once we've tied it, we can double knot it. I'm going to double knot mine because I don't want my passenger to accidentally fall off my balloon. For this next step, we're going to be actually using this little hook spot at the top of the hot air balloon, and we're going to hook it to something. Now, if you're at home, you can use a hanger, maybe a hook that's hanging from a door, or even ask your parents to hold this up for you. Since I don't have a parent with me right now, I'm going to hang it on a hook that's right over here. Now that we've connected our passenger to our hot air balloon, we can now help them travel up the string. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the ends that have our beads on it, and we can pull them. I'm going to set him down so I can pull him up. And he's slowly, as I pulled it, he's going to go up and up to the hot air balloon. And there you go. That's how you make Around the World in 80 days.